Welcome all to Season 4 of MLS Next Pro. Howdy folks, I'm Peyton Keller, and just 18 weeks ago, we crowned our third Cup champion. What might be in store for us in 2025? Take a look.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro.
A league of discovery, a league of opportunity gets out of the blocks today for FC Cincinnati 2 and Toronto FC 2. They embark on their campaigns respectively here in MLS Next Pro in 2025. It's a crisp 60-degree day on this Sunday contest between two teams in the East with high expectations heading into this year and refreshed squads. For FC Cincinnati 2 effectively going worst to first last year, resulting in Tyrone Marshall, the manager, winning manager of the year. A squad that has plenty of new players in new places. That is a theme between them and Toronto FC 2, who only brought back 9 members of their squad from a year ago. Here's how the two teams set up here in this one for FC Cincinnati 2. Top down, it is a 3-5-2, such a hallmark of Pat Newton and this entire organization. What they try to do, that back line is star-studded today. Brian Schaefer, Nick Hagland, and of course, Andre Chirilla. The opportunity for the youngster, the 16-year-old up from the academy, Stefan Chirilla on the homegrown contract, will make up a part of a strike tandem. Behind them, a 5-man midfield. As for Toronto FC 2 in the group today, for Gianni Cimini, it is a 3-5-2 as well. A lot of new faces in this team. Daquan Barrow makes up a part of a tandem, leading the attack with Charlie Sharp. And on the right side, Kobe Franklin is a player to keep an eye on. Has been doing big things within this Toronto FC organization as we direct our attention to kickoff and get ready for this one here in MLS Next Pro Season 2025. So here we are again at the starting line. Toronto FC 2, FC Cincinnati 2. This Toronto program had a lot of success against the team that was the #1 seed in the East in Cincinnati a year ago, taking 2 of the 3 matches. These teams locked horns. Stefan Chirilla is over the ball for FC Cincinnati 2. Anticipation for this upcoming year comes to a close. We are underway. The MLS Next Pro season, and it's a false start. Well, that's anticlimactic. And now we're underway. Callan Radisad, the center official, blows his whistle and sends us in motion from Northern Kentucky University. FC Cincinnati 2 coming off a campaign that saw them go 10-6-12 and miss the postseason. FC Cincinnati, as previously mentioned, the #1 seed in the East with a sour taste left in their mouth. They were expelled from the playoffs in the first round. There is plenty of firepower within this stable of players for Tyrone Marshall to potentially contend for that designation atop the table again this year. Chukwu. Dropping back to recover it. Stefanovic, and now with the goalkeeper. Trying to place a piercing pass into the pathway. But oncoming Nate Edwards just carries out of touch. Opiemi. Back to the goalkeeper. It's Paul Walters who gets the nod between the sticks today for FC Cincinnati 2. Cincinnati engaged deep in their own end there by Toronto FC 2. They've given the ball away for a throw. All the way back to the goalkeeper. Or rather, it's actually cut off at the back. Toronto FC just knocking the ball around. Chukwu again. Now De Rosario just clearing his lines. Set to be tossed in by Yorkaev Caicedo, a player with a lot of fanfare coming into this year, arriving into this FC Cincinnati program by way of Ecuador. A very dynamic wingback, a system that features that role prevalently. Edwards is upended and wins the whistle. Stefanovic plowing wide. Threaded forward. Cut out by Caicedo. Shuffled along. This is Stefan Chirilla. Brian Schaefer. Now Andre Chirilla stepping into the season, 16 years of age, a player that Tyrone Marshall certainly highlighted in the build-up to this one. Said he was a name to remember. You'd be hearing a lot from him this year. Marking in between the lines. Stefan Chirilla slotted wide. Caicedo angles in a cross and just beaten away by Adisa De Rosario. Just arriving tall enough to take it off the head of Tega Akoba. One of those new additions to this Cincinnati squad. 21-year-old and under duress in their own ends. And the shriek of a whistle gets Toronto off the hook. They dust off and carry on into their advance. Picked off by Haglund. And Chirilla is upended. Seeing Stefan Chirilla, who certainly had the spotlight last year for FC Cincinnati. This second side of theirs, as he earned that homegrown contract, has been with the senior squad. In the lineup today as he makes a run into the box, providing an option for Caicedo. Skips away from him and Edwards clears. Already a handful of half chances for FC Cincinnati too. Caicedo. And Schaefer. And Stefan Chirilla's younger brother, Andre. Now Stefan will receive and play ahead to Caicedo, who cuts in. And picked off and off to the races. Charlie Sharp looked like he might have an opening. Sniffed out and taken back by Cincinnati's bunch. And on the run. Mangione and Schaefer. just a touch too much carry there. The ball directed by this FC Cincinnati 2 midfield towards Kenji and Bomadem. And Bomadem has had a great start to the campaign. Had some real opportunities in the senior squad so far. Leading returning goal scorer for this FC Cincinnati 2 bunch. Coming off a year that saw him tally a total of 7 and also had 5 assists, which the most on the side as play is brought back by Kellen Redisap. Bomadem was able to make his first team debut in the CONCACAF Champions Cup against Montagua. That back at the end of the month of February, and then also make his MLS debut against Philadelphia Union not too far after that. Played a full 90 against Montagua in the return, second leg of that exchange there. Here's Schaefer. Switching the point of attack. A tight spot on the near touch line. Opiemi does well. Looks like that ball may have actually carried out over the touchline, though. Won by Haglund, who grabs hold deep in the attack. The 32-year-old spreading wide. Caicedo plots a path inward. Falling for Chirilla. Unable to tame it with his first touch, but retained by FC Cincinnati 2. Turned wide and left behind the oncoming Caicedo. Chukwu. Dropping in is the Toronto FC midfielder, and on to Edwards. Edwards sliding away, he's chopped down, and it's a dangerous free kick coming. Brian Schaefer left the leg out. It was a lovely ball, Trivella delivery. Edwards saw his opportunity to draw contact and wins a free kick that could cause some havoc. Looks like Hassan Ayari is the one who's tabbed for the opportunity to sign his name on the contest. See if he tries to get up and over the wall. It's a robust barricade comprised of 5 or 6 players. Ayari palmed away, and the rebound bruises the crossbar and ricocheted away. Paul Walters ready for all of it, and he keeps it out. Bailed out by the bar. And able to cover at the posts. Scrape it away for a corner. The goalkeeper will look into the sun as he tries to deal with this set piece. They carry him off the woodwork, but it matters not. Also blows the play dead for a foul in the lead up to the headed effort. And Cincinnati able to dodge that particular danger. Caicedo heading the wrong direction, just looking for somewhere to go. Chirilla can't get quite clear, now kicks it overhead. Toronto tighten up and take it back. Sharp and Edwards on the back heel. Mangione, another player that's been up with the senior side. Haglund, a tight turn. And stabbed back by Chukwu again. De Rosario. Chukwu. Opeyemi arriving to cause some mayhem. He's giving away the foul. Monsuru Opeyemi, newly arrived Nigerian wide man. Most recently plying his trade with FC Vizela. And the Portuguese second tier arrived over the offseason on a free transfer. Loose ball in mid-park. Swung wide, Chukwu. Stefanovic. That's good stuff from him. Ball's gone, a roulette through midfield. A little bit of ambition from Brian Schaefer. Ball's gone, out for a throw, but skill show from the center back. Earned confidence for a man that has been a mainstay for Tyrone Marshall and company. St. Elizabeth's Healthcare is proud to serve Northern Kentucky and Southeastern Indiana, committed to leading these communities to be among the healthiest in the nation. It's the official healthcare provider of FC Cincinnati 2. St. Elizabeth provides the highest quality care across Kentucky, Ohio, and Indiana. To get care now, visit stelizabeth-.com today. Free kick coming here for Toronto. Quarter hour in. FC Cincinnati 2 has had the better run of the play. Most meaningful chances, though, have belonged to the side that eye the target now. It's Michael Sullivan over the ball, joined by Hassan Ayari. It belongs to Ayari. Skied with in swing. Second ball. Well, it nearly was won by Toronto, but a high boot. And he's going to draw the first card of the match. Didn't quite catch who caught that one on the chin. Fortunately, everybody seems to be okay. It looks like it's Stefanovic who gets his name taken down. Gobbled up in mid-park. Widened for Chukwu. Edwards was waiting for the contact and is able to go to ground and win a foul there. This is smart play to open the body up. Ensure the ball was secured and then quickly able to draw the contact and get the foul call. Trilla a bit loose on the first touch, but he has it in tow now. A well-weighted pass wide. Caicedo just stumbled on the ball for a moment, and that's all it took to go out for a throw. He's been lively, though, so far, Yorkav. Caicedo lived up to the billing. He scored in the final preseason match, a 3-1 victory over USL side Indy 11. And a player that Tyrone Marshall, the manager here, has just beamed about his youthfulness and brightness in the game. One of those players that you just see quite honestly playing with a smile at all times. Pumped wide. Obiemi hesitated to try and cross, crowded off the ball. Edwards with the cover. Toronto working away, trying to navigate the press. They failed to do so. It's come off the referee. Drillo was lying in wait. Play allowed to continue. Haglund thumping one forward. Fearsome pressing from FC Cincinnati 2. Trying to make some dividends from it. Caicedo now. Toronto with their heels dug in. Haglund into the half space. Now Mangione. Couldn't make the final pass stick. And it's Toronto on the counter. Tilting into the wide area, Sharp shoots one in, and it's just blown over the bar. It was a sculpted ball in. Found the foot of Daquan Barrow, who just leaned back a touch too much. You cannot play a better ball across the bow. And Barrow did well to syncopate his run enough to get the contact off the inseam of his boot. That instep just betraying him at the last. A little bit cheeky there. Not entertained by it was Stefan Trilla. Obiemi. Unable to swerve away. Haglund in a tight spot. Mangione on the half turn, racing forward now. Into Sharp, who can't skip away. It was Schaefer that was stride for stride. Foul given to Toronto FC2. What's the blueprint here? Lofted in. Toronto attached themselves to it once more. In-cutting run. It was Barrow who was trying to wind himself free, never got there. And now Chirilla was just dancing with the ball up the line, and it's a throw-in coming for Cincinnati. Spun into space. Not enough space, apparently. Schaefer. A thudding exchange. Other side able to claim possession. Mangione gains purchase. Looks up and locates Obiemi, who tries to break lines with a first-time ball. It was a really well-timed run. Just unable to set free Akoba. That's great stuff, though, from the home side. With the scent, it's Toronto. Olgwin twisting away, and now makes a wide run as the ball arrives at the feet of Nate Edwards. Olgwin on it again. Just about kept on. Once more, it's a throw. Toronto starting to see a little bit more of the ball now. There was a period of play in which FC Cincinnati 2 had seemed to have gained control of possession for about 10 minutes. Confined and claustrophobic over there on the far flank. It's a heady play on the ball. And pushed along. Chukwu. In for Sullivan, who slices wide. Edwards. And Chukwu. sitting on the edge of the final third. I see Cincinnati, too, trying to keep their shape defensively as the ball makes its way back all the way to De Rosario. Pressing in formation, the home side. But Toronto work it out. Here's Chukwu. Edwards stopping first touch. And sprayed to the other side into the box. Kobe Franklin. And Olgwent connecting the dots from mid-park. Sustained Toronto attacking play. Scooped along off the chest of Sharp. And cut out by Mboma. Finally, FC Cincinnati able to put a foot on the ball. An exhaustive piece of defensive work. And Mboma. Sniffed out by Olgwent. There are numbers if they go quickly, Toronto. Toronto weaving pretty patterns, knocking the ball about. De Rosario. Now direct. Was aimed in the direction of Barrow. Never got there. Olgwent. Threading through. Meaningful chance. It's Edwards! Nate Edwards strikes the pose, and Toronto extend in front on opening day. It all starts with this win in mid-park, and then Olgwent holding the ball for a well-timed run and played right across the goal mouth and straight into the path of Nate Edwards, who devastates the defense with a first-time finish. Just about stayed onside, Edwards, and it is 1-0. I think Edwards may have been unsure as to whether or not that flag was going to pop up as well. Had the finger raised in the air, saying, no, no, no. I stayed on. And that will be what the box score reads. All to do now for FC Cincinnati, who waste no time getting to work. That's pinched right back. Michael Sullivan has been strong in the middle of this Toronto team. 39th overall pick of this MLS Super Draft out of Pitt. Player that had plenty of experience at the NCAA level. 67 appearances over his time in the Steel City. One of the leaders of this group, according to Gianni Cimini, who said that the college players they brought in have really done a lot to raise the solidity and level of this squad. A lot of maturity and leadership brought in. Reed Fisher, another one of those college players, joining up. At the half-hour mark, the point of difference is Nate Edwards. You'd have to imagine, though, FC Cincinnati, too, have goals in the squad today. don't think you could possibly feel comfortable if you're supporting Toronto FC 2. Only one goal to the good. Sloping in, not over the head of Haglund though. Nick Haglund, 32-year-old with 220 professional appearances. Just about 88 of those being with Toronto FC. And in fact, 6 with Toronto FC 2 down the years. He's made himself a home here in Cincinnati, providing some maturity in the back line in this one today. Shuffled off, and Bomadam gets busy. It's a throw-in coming. Opiemi into the feet of Chirilla. And Haglund. And Opiemi in a pocket. Goes early with the cross. Caicedo arriving late, rescuing it. Norkaev Caicedo. And just turned his cross out over the end line for a goal kick. Those wingbacks, Caicedo and Opiemi, have been the best avenue of attack so far for FC Cincinnati 2. Still yet, though, to direct a shot on target or even muster a real shot today. Stats reading 5 shots for Toronto and none for FC Cincinnati so far. Knotted down by Andre Chirilla. Line splitting ball off the feet of Mbomadam. Now Caicedo. No way forward. Haglund's been given license to join up in the attack. Unable to make waves that time forward. De Rosario having to get heady. He was right there at the edge of the 18. And both literally and proverbially using his noggin to deal with the danger. 10 minutes from the end of the half. Akoba holding it up well. Andre Chirilla to Stefan Chirilla. To Steven Jimenez. And now Haglund. Opiemi inverting. Linking Mangione, who swivels into Chirilla. Chirilla sticking with it. And he's gone in too strong. A foul is given. This portion of the match is brought to you by MedPace, an official partner of FC Cincinnati. And so far it has been Toronto FC2 setting the pace. That goal from Nate Edwards, what separates the sides. 10 minutes for FC Cincinnati 2 to level the terms before the intermission. De Rosario. Blade cutting ball that skipped off the turf. Quickly intercepted by FC Cincinnati 2. Mangione increasingly involved in midfield. Continually see Chirilla dropping between the lines, trying to pull around the shape of this Toronto side. Opiemi. And Bomadam can't twist free. Another good tackle from Reed Fisher. And the whistle shrieks. Akoba not in agreement, you might say, with the call. Tega Akoba, a player that finished so hotly last season with Portland Timbers too, and 7 goals in 12 appearances after finishing up a loan spell in the USL Championship with Indy 11. 21 years of age, a chance to write another chapter in his career here with this FC Cincinnati organization. Chirilla, once more the straw stirring the drink. Can't wiggle free though. Ogwin. Oh, that's beautiful tight area work from Toronto. Sharp, able to catch up to it. There's been really high-level play on the ball by both sides so far. Ogwin, Edwards, and Barrow bearing down. Worked wide for Edwards again, back in. A touch, a take, Sharp! It was swatted away, but the flag is up. Nonetheless, good work from the goalkeeper, Paul Walters. But it was lethal build-up play. As Ayari just earned himself enough of an angle to pull the trigger. And again, it's Toronto that's shown the sharper edge. Rainbowing over the top, Chukwu in pursuit. And it's out for a throw. This portion of the match is brought to you by TQL, the official logistics partner of FC Cincinnati. Swung to the far flank. Andre Chirilla awaiting options. Picks out Schaefer. And Hagland was not going to overextend to try and keep that on. Sometimes that requires a bit of IQ, experience, knowing that one off balance, if you do catch up to the ball and get a touch to it, can quickly be pounced upon and lose it in a dangerous position. Hagland smartly choosing just to roll out a play. And that opens up maybe a window of opportunity for Cincinnati. Caicedo just creamed that one ever so smoothly wide. And it's going to be a yellow card after advantage had expired. Daquan Barrow is the one going in the book. How about this hit from Caicedo, who so cleverly just attached himself to the ball and took aim. He has been a live wire. Flushed away by De Rosario. Something to chase for Sharp. Dug away by Toronto. Barrow beaming one into the box. Late to it's the goalkeeper. Still up for grabs. It's bounded away. Bodies on the floor all over the place inside the 18-yard box. Play swirling forward nonetheless. And then just booted out of touch. That was nearly a smash and grab for Toronto, as Edwards was looking for a second with a second man run from the wide space. Caicedo, plenty of room to hatch a plan. Mangione. Tucking in there was Mboma, and now it's Caicedo. trying to summon the strength to whittle a way forward. Chirilla, he's upended. It's a clean tackle. It's sharp. It's just nubbed away, and now Edwards. Swept wide by Olgwen. Plenty of room outside. And settling the tempo, Kobe Franklin. Fisher. A hearty collision as the vet Haglund goes in full tilt. And Bo Madame, a pirouette, trying to play the piercing pass. Just got away from Akoba. Franklin cleaning up, Ayari. Who wants it? The answer is Caicedo. Chirilla replacing in the wide space. And Bo Madame trying to untangle himself amidst a clot of defenders. Now Chirilla charging in. Couldn't find the half yard to get a shot away. Andre Chirilla, his delivery, knotted out. Haglund measuring it across. Bicycle attempt doesn't come off. Barrow flying in for one. Sharp onto it. He's chopped down and foul is given. The offender is Steven Jimenez. Sharp just arriving a nose in front. As Jimenez attempted to head it off. Waiting on the board to go up, announcing stoppage time. Here's another look. You just see Sharp just getting there narrowly in front and then clipping the heel of Jimenez. It's 2 minutes of stoppage time. It's tiny work on the ball. Now Sharp, growing into the game, Charlie Sharp. Chukwu. Poked forward by Olgwen. Skied out to Edwards, who is unable to keep it in play. That was a long throw all the way into the center circle. Mangione. Haglund. Headed along in Bo Madame. One last attack for FC Cincinnati 2, and Bo Madame. Haglund able to catch up. Jimenez. Eased in by Haglund. First time wide, Jimenez. Left for Opeyemi. Not all the way clear. And Bo Madame has it on his left. Tries the gloves of De Rosario, who answers the call. Goalkeeper happy to allow time to tick on by. We're past the 2 minutes given. And that brings a close to the half. Nate Edwards noses his side in front after 45. Our score at half is 1-0. We step aside, more halftime coverage set to come here on match day 1 in MLS Next Pro. Again, 1-0, Toronto FC 2 out in front of FC Cincinnati 2.
Action.
I'm hanging on like a fridge to a magnet. It's a jigsaw with all the right pieces. You and me, we go good together. You and I go good together. You and I, we go good together. We go good together.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
If I got it, then I bought it. Take a bite, cause I want it. And I know I got the taste for the cake. And I take what I make and I flaunt it, flaunt it. Got diamonds on my necklace. I live how I like. So looks is getting reckless. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe.
Welcome you back to the campus of Northern Kentucky University, where it's 1-0 between Toronto FC 2 and FC Cincinnati 2. Highlights and stats are coming up later in halftime. But first, North Texas SC lifted the MLS Next Pro Cup last season. It's a first of its kind for the league. MLS Next Pro takes you behind the scenes of what the 2024 season was like for the defending champs and several teams around the league. Here's the trailer.
For these players, it's more than just a game. It's a dream, a journey, a chance to make history. They fought through a grueling season, pushed beyond limits, and sacrificed everything for their fans. The season's journey tested their bodies, minds, and hearts.
Torella arcs this ball around everybody! Oh!
Sullivan from distance. Havin Sullivan doubles the advantage for Philadelphia.
We have one more goal. One more. You guys gonna get it. Because you are the best team in this league. And we're gonna prove it tonight. Again, and again.
All the pressure's on this. Yeah? We're just a bunch of little kids who aren't supposed to be here.
In the end, only two will remain in the battle for supremacy.
Play the match, not the moment. You understand me?
This is more than a game. It's a legacy. The journey. The sacrifice. The glory. This is the road to MLS NEXT Pro Cup.
Visit MLSNextPro.com for MLS Next Pro's YouTube channel to check out all 5 episodes. After the break, we will hear from several of our league's coaches as we recently celebrated Black History Month. Folks, stay with us.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro.
If I got it, then I bought it. Take a bite, cause I want it. And I know I got the taste for the cake. And I take what I make and I flaunt it, flaunt it. Got diamonds on my necklace. I live how I like. So looks is getting reckless. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe.
Action.
I know I'm fully attracted. I'm hanging on like a fridge to a magnet. A jigsaw with all the right pieces. You and me, we go good together. You and I go good together. You and I, we go good together. We go good together.
Back at the break, where today, to celebrate Black History Month, MLS Next Pro caught up with black head coaches around the league to discuss what the celebratory month means to them.
Black History Month for me, it means a time to reflect, feel proud, feel motivated to just keep pushing on.
It's a time where we can all focus on the history and the contributions of people of color in this country. I think that's something that we should do throughout the whole year, but I also do appreciate the fact that we can dedicate a month into just focusing on certain subjects and certain traditions and historical figures that have given us the opportunity to do what we do in 2025.
Realizing that, and understanding that those people didn't die in vain. Right? They died for a purpose, to make my life better, to make other lives better within Black society. Man, it's special to learn about these stories, to hear about these stories ever since you're a kid in school, and to see the impact that they had.
It is an uplifting time for people to kind of recognize, the past and try to bring it to the present.
I think this is so important to see the struggles of African, Black American. This means a lot for me.
A time to really learn for myself, for others outside the culture, right? To hopefully continue progressing as a society as a whole in a positive manner. I would say those sort of things are important.
This month for me is a time where society recognizes differences, and we reinforce that differences are good and enrich our world and society.
Now it's on us to continue to move this thing along and be inspirations for the next kids to come through as well.
Soccer is so powerful in terms of it's actually a universal language where you could speak to anyone on the planet Earth just using this entity that we call soccer. And that's why I think it can be a catalyst to open minds and open doors and open hearts to certain things that people are not normally privy to, just because of the fact that they're drawn to the sport.
Everyone should be given a chance. Differences should not be something that closes a door to you, but at the very least generates curiosity.
It's the world's game. You can see people from all over the world play it. And so to see black coaches, black executives, and see them be successful, it shows that, yeah, anybody can do it.
We have to go against a lot of obstacles and a lot of hurdles. You know, we always have to go above and beyond, you know, to prove ourselves. So it's something that, you know, I'm going to continue to work hard at and continue to build and continue to teach the other people who are coming, you know, after me. You know, it's to leave a legacy where they can emulate and look at, hey, this guy, he did it, and this way he did it the right way.
Hopefully I can continue to grow and have more outreach and continue to help the younger generation.
Sometimes we don't think we're in that position to motivate people, to give them that little motivation that they might need to push through, but we are. So the responsibility is with us to make sure we're good role models for the next generation. So just trying to do the right thing.
Now that I'm a coach, I hope I can be a reference, especially within my playing career for other black athletes. Not to be like me, but to be better than me and surpass me, right? I think that's the ultimate goal, right? Is the next generation sort of carries the torch and takes it even higher and even better.
The young ones, they can see us being me as a coach, and now you see it on to inspire them being in the position where I'm at. I think this is a big achievement also with all the coaches all over the world.
Seeing someone of your color in a position that they're in, it gives you that motivation to say, if he can do it, I can do it. So I think it's very important that we are well represented, whether as coaches, players in the front office, so we're visible to people of our color so that they can be motivated.
I started coaching in Toronto, and that's when I started to think probably more into that aspect of it. Seeing a lot of black kids that I coached in the communities there, going out to camps and doing clinics, and being one of a few black coaches at that time, it kind of makes me feel good to say, hey, you guys can do this. Continue to work hard, continue to do the right things, continue to believe in yourself, and one day you can be a professional player, you can be a coach and help others. And so I feel very blessed and fortunate to have had the career that I had. It's unfortunate to be in this role that I have now, to be able to, you know, hopefully help out in any way some of the younger generation.
When they visualize it, they can become more goal-oriented in how to achieve it. And that it's not just a dream, it's actually a goal with checkpoints in between, and they take themselves on their journey in order to achieve what they're trying to achieve, which is become a head coach in the MLS. So that's why it's important for people like myself to be in this position and to do well.
It's a lot of hard work. It's a long journey. You know, myself, you know, we have to go against a lot of obstacles and a lot of hurdles. We always have to go above and beyond, you know, to prove ourselves, you know. So it's something that I'm going to continue to work hard at and continue to build and continue to teach the people who are coming, you know, after me. It's to leave a legacy where they can emulate and look at, hey, this guy, he did it, and this way he did it the right way.
Work hard, have faith, believe in your dreams, because ultimately nothing is impossible. I would say to foster the ambition of getting better, have the humility to listen, and the last thing I would say is probably you cannot buy experience, but you can borrow it.
Certainly a league of opportunity, not just for players, but an important one for coaches as well. Plenty of action taking place across the league. The upcoming schedule, here's how it looks in MLS Next Pro as everything gets kicked off this weekend. You can see these two teams swinging back into action over the course of the upcoming weekend. SC Cincinnati 2 with a clash against New England Revolution, an away day coming up on Thursday, March 13th for Chicago Fire, and all the other action unfolding across the league, wrapping up this upcoming match week on Sunday with Orlando City B and Atlanta United 2, a little derby there at 7 p.m. Eastern at the end of this upcoming weekend. Here is how the first half looked between the two teams today. Toronto FC 2, SC Cincinnati 2 as we prepare for the second half. As it stands 1-0, but not despite the efforts of this man, Paul Walters, who put in a pair of saves to keep it clean, at least to that stage in the competition, keeping the ball out, keeping it 0-0. But Toronto would not give up their chance to go ahead, as this move, starting just inside the attacking half, ends up with a skied attack from Daquan Barrow. But they were banging on the door, and that knocking intensified later on in the half. Again, it's that right-hand side this time. Not making any mistake would be Nate Edwards, almost a carbon copy of the missed chance from earlier in the half. This time, Toronto would not be mistaken, and that is what pulls them ahead 1-0 heading into half number 2. FC Cincinnati 2 would flash a couple of moments of quality here. It's provided by Yorkai F. Caicedo, who breezed one across the bow. And into half number 2 we go. The task is tall for FC Cincinnati 2. Only came close a handful of times. This easily could be 2-0 or so for Toronto FC, who have played with plenty of ambition with this refreshed squad. And it looks like Tyrone Marshall has changed the equation. Noah Adnat has checked into the match. Highly regarded player that will slot in the back line. Placing Haglund, who was strong in the first half, just getting a couple of yards on those legs. Caicedo in a bit of trouble there, able to work himself out of that spot of bother. Daquan Barrow was coming down hot on his heels. Both teams are certainly dogmatic, have a very specific way of playing. They will not differentiate from that, despite in the case of FC Cincinnati 2 needing to find a goal to draw even. Caicedo. First touch for Adnat. Filtered forward. Carrying the attack ahead. Move to this near side, Caicedo. Just slaps it out of play. Flag was up anyway. And that move started with Caicedo. He made the long full field run to receive the pass on the business end. Just couldn't time his run. As we told you off the top of the broadcast, Toronto FC, despite struggling throughout the season, were able to put in 2 of their 10 wins on the year against this FC Cincinnati bunch. It's a tough out throughout the year for the entire league, as Cincy found themselves in the 1 seed in the East. They've enjoyed much of the same joy today. Just a 2-man game at the back, Adnan and Schaefer. Now they involve Chirilla, who just sprays one in towards the back. Clipped out of touch. Toronto FC side that is trying to reproduce the overall output of their star man Julian Altobelli, the all-time appearance leader for the club. Was able to score in this fixture a year ago. He scored plenty of goals in Toronto's colors. He's moved on, playing now in the Canadian Premiership. They brought in a handful of new players, 5 total signings, 4 of them coming from the college ranks. They look revived and refreshed so far. There's been a sharpness, a snappiness to their play. despite the fact that they've only put themselves 1 goal to the good. It's not like Cincinnati have been a passenger in the match. They've probed along, they've been good themselves. Cincinnati have been a measure better. I should say Toronto. On to the foot of Mboma Dem, who definitely plays it forward. Cutting in front, Akoba willing his way in. Couldn't link Chirilla. Akoba, nifty on the ball, belts one in. Without hesitation, a hammering hit of the ball. De Rosario's up to it. This takes quality, settling and off the skip. Puts laces to it. And Cincinnati have not given up the rope. Obiemi riding out to Caicedo. Couldn't quite get free there, and it's out for a corner. Plenty of big targets to aim at. Those center backs getting forward. A 6'3" frame of Tega Akoba looming in and around the area. Within swing. Free inside the 6, not clear to Akoba. Gets a touch. And beaming away, Toronto. On the sprint, Ayari in support is Edwards. And keen to play back and recycle play. Reed Fisher. Back heel to no one in particular. Latching on is Mangione. Overlapping him is Caicedo. Jimenez. Jimenez drifting wide. Toronto hesitant to press the ball in this phase of play. An effort to try and maybe draw Toronto up, expand the space in behind. Well drilled and compact. All numbers behind the ball for the roadside. Obiemi. Adnan. Schaefer, a skyscraping switch. Caicedo creeping in the back door. Takes a bump in the back. It's allowed to carry on. Barrow booting ahead. Nobody's marking sharp, but the flag is risen to stop play. Linesmen today are Jackson Krauser and John Krill. Fourth official, Salvador Flores. And center official, as stated previous, Kalen Radosav. Now Toronto extend to meet the ball at the back. Some room to work away for Cincinnati. Chirilla. Shuttled forward, Caicedo, the one who pursues it back. He clipped the goalkeeper, De Rosario. Mangione twirling in. Opiemi fancying himself a chance. Not sure if that was his intention the whole way. He's flailed it over the goal, and De Rosario looks like he may have overextended himself a bit. Here's another look as Opiemi found himself in a pocket of space and dialed up an effort. That certainly was a shot. De Rosario rose up to try and deal with any danger. When he came down, was unable to raise back to his feet. Physios are on. Backup goalkeeper today is an academy graduate, Nathaniel Abraham, 17-year-old. See if De Rosario is fit and able to continue. 1-0 today. First half goal from Nate Edwards. The distance between the two sides. Cincinnati have still yet to really put a shot on target. That final product has been elusive. Despite the stars in the attacking framework today for Tyrone Marshall. Able to get Stefan Trillo back. There's some questions about that. Him enjoying his time in the first team on a homegrown deal. It was always thought that Peter Mangione and Kenji Mboma would be available for selection today. Both put in the starting 11 despite having big roles in the early run-in for FC Cincinnati's senior group. A lot of schedule congestion given the fact that they are a participant in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. De Rosario is back to his feet and bouncing. Just checking the tires. All that time will be added on in the back end for stoppage time. Off the head of Sharp. Chukwu. Edwards. Oh, that's a risky ball. Mangione intercepts. Jimenez off the line. A second bite of the apple, and Mboma. Brave defending by Reed Fisher to intervene. Cincinnati undeterred. Caicedo loops one just over the frame. What a piece of defensive work to measure that in the goal mouth. Goalkeeper beaten after a really casual giveaway from De Rosario. His new right-sided center back has his back. You could tell Reed Fisher was excited to take on this part of the professional process in preseason discussion. Player that was a standout at San Diego State. 2023 Pac-12 All-Freshman and Freshman of the Year. Dealt with injuries early in his career, but now is in full fitness, and the game has really slowed down for him in a meaningful way. Approaching the hour mark, FC Cincinnati 2 starting to lean on their opponent more and more. Peeling in is Mboma. Trying to get around him is Caicedo. Centrally, Mangione, laid off Chirilla. Adnan and now Opiemi. Chirilla flat-footed, trying to provide the run. picked off. And down in a heap is Opiemi. It looked like he was off to the races, and you really hope this isn't serious. Just trying to get him stretched out as he collapsed under his own weight with green grass in front. It was a quick stop start, and it is a chilly day in northern Kentucky. Hopefully he just felt a little pinch and it's going to be all right. He is back on his feet. FC Cincinnati 2 have only used the one substitution. It looks like they're about to make two more. Heavy artillery on the bench for Tyrone Marshall. William Kiesel will come on. A late addition to the squad, as well as a player that's had plenty of joy at the MLS level. Incoming is Gerardo Valenzuela, a big-time number 9 with a bright future. And he will replace Tega Ekoba, whose FC Cincinnati debut had a couple of high points, but never a moment to really write home about. And Yorkaev Caicedo is the one who will make way for Kiesel, who comes on to troll the left side of the Cincinnati formation. Strong debut as well for Caicedo, the Ecuadorian. Sharp goes down. De Rosario joining up in the attack. Slotted in for Olguin. Immediately returned wide. In fact, that was actually Michael Sullivan dropping in, and he gets another touch. Ayari. And now Reed Fisher. Risky work from Sullivan, but he pulls it off. Ayari. Centered back in for Ayari on a tidy 1-2. Pushed wide for Edwards. Chukwu makes the inside man run. Sullivan. Skipping away in the box, falling for Sharp. Walled off. Paul Walters cuts the angle. Stymies the threat. Strong start, stop I should say there, from Paul Walters. Takes it out for a goal kick. Good moment to tell you that this portion of the match is brought to you by First Financial Bank, the official bank of FC Cincinnati. Just past an hour. FC Cincinnati 2 have not quite worked out the equation today. Just flailing at it was Chirilla. Barrow thumped in, a little overcooked on the cross, falling for Edwards. Sullivan and Edwards. Turns on the burners, just about catches up. It's out for a corner. A chance to extend the lead. Hassan Ayari retrieves and puts the target in his sights. Toronto players queuing up at the edge of the box. Knocked around dangerously, and up to pluck it off the top shelf is the goalkeeper. Taking a couple wild kicks at it was Barrow, and now distributed wide. This is Kiesel. Valenzuela dropped in pretty deep, linking up the play from midfield. And it looks like he might have a midfield deployment here. Trilla flicked on Kiesel. Supportive run from Trilla, who bends to the byline. Is unable to shake. Another resolute piece of defending from Reed Fisher, who absorbs the contact. The referee toying with his pocket. There will be no caution though. Hard landing off the chest of Sharp and flown forward by Ogwen. Returning to the feet of Sharp, and now Ogwen works it out. Edwards unable to hawk it down. Valenzuela. A catapulted throw. Adnan able to get in front. Hurdling to lock onto it was Ogwen, and Toronto play away. Peeling into space. Ayari had it prodded free, and it's out for a Cincinnati throw. Nothing doing for Trilla, and again, winning that battle is Reed Fisher. Oh, that's sweet stuff. Smooth on the ball. Spun forward, Ayari trying to catch up. Andre Trilla will win the foot race. Franklin. Chukwu on a stroll. Skids it by the feet of Sharp, though. Can Cincinnati 2 salvage something on opening day? They were only shut out on 4 occasions last season. Of course, it is important to note, the last of which came on this ground against this team. Toronto FC2 came in here and got a late season result at the end of that 2024 campaign. Edwards, the goal scorer, in for Sharp. Out by Jimenez. Taken off the toes of Valenzuela and turned inward and turned well over the target. It was Kobe Franklin who just misjudged that final step as he planted to give that a whack. Could not tell you the last time FC Cincinnati 2 really got out of their own end and mustered much threat. Maybe they will here. And pulling up is Opeyemi, who was already struggling earlier, and immediately the signal for a substitution. You see the frustration. Was just trying to decelerate. Must have felt some sort of twitch. Tyrone Marshall looks into his dugout. He'll try to drum up a replacement for his wing back. Assuming, of course, that Cincinnati will not take any chances. Opeyemi is helped off. Home side does appear to have made a change. Dylan Hurtado, 18-year-old, entering the match. Coming from CD Estudiantil. And this will be the first senior pro appearance for him, for FC Cincinnati 2. I shouldn't say senior, but professional appearance. Here's Valenzuela, curving into the box. Toronto defense moving up in unison to try and cut him off. And by Kiesel, it was a well-leveled ball. Just scuffed away. Trilla. Pumped wide to Kiesel. Back in for Andre Trilla. Line of confrontation is rather deep now for Toronto FC2. No reason to overextend. Ogwin. Blasting one that will trickle over the line. And Toronto will make a pair of changes. Stay done for Daquan Barrow. Joshua Nugent will come in, take up residence at the top of the formation. It also appears Itolo has come in. Brazilian center back that arrived back with the team late after a second loan from Sao Paulo. Still working up to full fitness. Player that averaged 8 recoveries a game last year. Over the top. And it was Stefanovic, as you see with the graphic, that makes way for Itolo to check in. Valenzuela. Kiesel sculpted in right under the foot of Mboma. Can't quite get it right. Second effort is blared over the bar. What a wonderful ball in. Almost looked like it caught Mboma by surprise, exactly how pinpointed it was. Just lands right on his foot. And instead of hitting it on the full volley, lets it bounce and unable to conjure the connection necessary. Poked free. And prowling forward now is Michael Sullivan. Ogwin. This portion of the match is brought to you by Cintas, the official partner of FC Cincinnati. Hurled ahead, Edwards puts it in his custody. Chukwu tries across, it's ducked away. Sullivan and Sharp on the spin. Chukwu, Itillo, and Reed Fisher. Feels like every single Toronto FC, I should say, debutant has put in a strong opening shift, made a good impression. Fisher among them. Sullivan as well, but this time he loses the ball. Valenzuela trucking along. Fisher gets back involved and gets his pound of flesh, committing the foul. This could be a meaningful opportunity from the free kick. You see Fisher just shrugged off on the first attempt to win the ball. Goes careening into the back of Valenzuela, providing a little bit of a different physical test for him as a 9. A little bit more athleticism, fluidity, if you will, than Tega Koba. Put that role early on in the game. Two players that can certainly hit it with a chance to level it here beyond the 75th minute. Into the final quarter hour. And Bomadem and Gerardo Valenzuela straight into the wall. The chance is gone. Not sure if Valenzuela maybe thought he could sneak it through the barricade. Of course, if you can find a way to get it through at waist height, it is so tough for a goalkeeper to see. Able to make that work though. He gets right back to it. Out for a throw. Valenzuela can't shift away. Chopped away. Much more trickling over that far touchline. And seems that play will be stopped. An opportunity during Ramadan to break the fast with the sun setting. Both teams will come to the touchline. Get a swig of water and reassess the tactics in this pause and play. Always such a remarkable thing during Ramadan that these athletes will go out and compete having not eaten or drank during the entire day. This is something that you welcome into the game, just a sensible thing to do to stop play and allow those players get that swig of water, get that bite of food maybe, and continue on. I see Cincinnati 2 seizing the opportunity to make a change in the middle of the park. Alfredo Chavez will check in, placing Steven Jimenez as that tempo setter in the middle of things for side from Ohio. One 0 to score. Nate Edwards, the one who was able to breach the defense of FC Cincinnati 2 in the first half. Hungry for more now. Toronto FC 2. Ayari trying to slide one through as Joshua Nugent was making a prying run. Kiesel. Met by the boot of Attolo. A bit of a moon ball. It falls kindly for Michael Sullivan. Ayari. Looks like Andre Dimitriou is preparing to come on. Chirilla trying to shift through the gears. Turn wide for Kiesel and clipped away. Dimitriou will come on and replace Ayari. Ayari had a couple bright moments in the attack. Now we'll take his respite as he's replaced by Andre Dimitriou. Player that finished last year quite well, 2 assists in the final 4 games. He immediately stabs in for a tackle. Ten minutes to break the tape. Adnan and Bomadam. Oh, that's captivating skill. And clawed out wide. And finding a pocket now. Cut back in, Hurtado. And just stemmed by Toronto SC2. Chirilla. Shuttled in for Kiesel, who carves in a cross. Knotted away by Sharp. Schaefer takes hold. Chirilla. Most sustained pressure in a while for FC Cincinnati 2. Finally able to test the resolve a bit of this Toronto FC2 outfit in the first match of the year. Adnan. Alfredo Chavez. Chirilla linking up with his brother Stefan. Valenzuela now. Can't find a pathway through. Adnan will let it lie for a throw. Toronto content to sit behind the ball now. That's a well-spotted run over the top. Attolo will put toes to it. Chirilla chasing it down. He's giving it away poorly. Along for Nugent. Inside of him is Sharp, but Nugent unable to work it out. And Cincinnati will build from the back again. This portion of the match is brought to you by City Clinical Trial and Consulting, an official partner of FC Cincinnati. Again, that's CTI, Clinical Trial and Consulting. Andre Chirilla. FC Cincinnati 2 blunted so far. Along for Hurtado. Roping in for Valenzuela, who tightly turns now in Bomadam. Hurtado linking, and up to it is De Rosario, who sends Hurtado a mile high as he plucks the ball from his toes. That would have been a highlight reel sequence of play, patterned so well. Hurtado starting that quick flourish of passing. He would have been the punctuation as well. Off the head of Sharp. It was Nugent leaking in, I should say. Sharp trying to rip his way in. Schaefer. And Trilla presents himself. A quiet day for him so far, Stefan Trilla. On the back of a standout season a year ago. Adnan. Andre Trilla. Valenzuela. Hurtado. Slicing infield, Chirilla. Ball stuck under his foot. Still jousting for it. He's just cut the heel of Olguin, who was unable to twist free as he was impeded by Chirilla. Scurrying away is Sharp. In for Nugent. On the 1-2. Edwards racing in. Nugent falling to his feet. And now there's opening on the other ends. Galloping away, Chirilla. Shadowed by Reed Fisher. Chirilla finally gets a little bit of space. Valenzuela attaching himself to it, but a foul is given first. Hourglass sand falling away. Toronto FC2. It would be a big lift to them to start the season in this fashion. Charlie Sharp is down and nursing something. And in the interlude, it appears that Gianni Cimini will shift the equation one more time. Malik Henry will check in, making his debut for the club. Day done on what could be the difference for Nate Edwards. He's the one who got the goal in the first half. He will watch on as Chirilla leaks in. The last one towards the target, just leathered it high. He finally found a bit of space to try and make something happen. So the ball just skidded away from Atolo. But he couldn't find the composure in the important moment. And taking every second, Adisa De Rosario. Sullivan. Swiveling in for Kobe Franklin. No urgency to go forward. Nugent flicks it on. Dimitru. Couldn't quite spot Sharp in. Can Toronto dig in and defend, or can FC Cincinnati 2 open their gate and get into fifth gear finally? Well taken down by Kiesel. Valenzuela just pumping it forward. Now Mboma. It's 6 minutes officially of stoppage time. Schaefer golfing one in off the head of Mboma. It found just enough of a crease to present a threat. Mangione now. This is Adnan, and that's Hurtado. He turns to take it down the line, and it's just outpaced by Malik Henry. Does well to keep it out and avoid a corner kick. Valenzuela on a solo show, and it's cleared. Trying to go direct, and it's a fruitless endeavor. Precious seconds off the clock as De Rosario retrieves. Hurtado. Finding a little avenue of opportunity as Mboma scooped in towards Chirilla. Onto the chest of Mangione. Chavez. De Rosario. Toronto owned the series all-time record of 5-0-3 against FC Cincinnati 2. Trying to double up their opposition today. Get that 6th victory. They are ever so close. More importantly, maybe, would start the season with a signature win on the road against a team that won the East a year ago, and without doubt has fielded their A team today. Dimitru coming in with some cover is Schaefer, and it's clipped out for a throw. And a raucous roar from the Toronto faithful, as they understand exactly the value of the passing moments ahead of this throw-in. Popped in by Franklin. Play ushered on as Sharp had gone down in the heap. A burst out of Malik Henry. Takes it towards the corner. Smartly plays back to Olguin in a whole field of space. Sullivan. Chased down by Chukwu, and smartly back to the goalkeeper. De Rosario dishes away. Final frames. Last chance saloon time for FC Cincinnati 2 on opening day. To the wide side. Valenzuela has it taken from him. Andre Trilla. Into the final minute. Adnan wide for Hurtado. Thumps in across. Cleared by Sharp. Little half hit. Hear them screaming to take it to the corner. Nugent burrowing in, still with the ball. Not sure FC Cincinnati 2 will get another chance. This will have to be it. And Bomadam, a heavy touch. Beaten about. It's out for a throw. All gas, no brakes time. It's clattered off the head of Nugent. And that will be it. Toronto FC 2 strain and get across the finish line with all 3 points in hand. Nate Edwards gets the goal in the first half, and that proves enough. The endurance pass is passed by Toronto FC 2, who will take a full harvest of points back across the border. The man of the match is none other than Nate Edwards, who earned the result today. You see the move starting with an interception from Michael Sullivan, then Olguin finds the run-in of Kobe Franklin, and not mincing his words, was Nate Edwards, who just about stayed on side. A half hour in, Toronto FC 2 would find themselves in front and crawl across the finish line. An hour's worth of work to get there, and they earn the result today. They're off to a great start. Gianni Cimini brings his bunch on the road and takes down the table topper from a year ago. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Peyton Gallagher. Once again, our final score, 1-0, Toronto FC 2 victorious. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. Folks, we'll talk to you soon. Good night.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.